Hello, I'm Olivia and this is Ritual Kitchen. Long time no video, but I guess I just needed a little bit of inspiration before I got going again. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about what I learned from eating 200 plants. And this is a little challenge that I set up for myself a little bit more than a year ago. At the time, I was in Veracruz, Mexico, and I'd just gotten out of a course where we were talking about gut health, and one of the people there, Kevin, said that he'd read somewhere that you would have to be eating about 200 plants a year to have a healthy gut microbiome. And the digestive system has definitely been one of my topics in the last years. Just having the sense that it wasn't quite working the way it should, and that I was either having too much of certain things or not enough of others. So I was trying to look for answers, and one of my attempts in that search was to see if I could meet that goal of 200 plants and if that is possible. One of the best things about doing this was that I had to go and push myself to find new plants to eat. Our supermarkets only carry, a certain number, actually quite small number of what there actually is out there. So part of the great a great part of the challenge, and particularly luckily being in a super abundant country like Mexico at the time when I started the challenge, was just like getting in contact with people and talking to people about the plants that they knew around them, and helping me identify plants and whether they were edible. And so I did try a lot of fruits and vegetables and herbs that I never would have tried otherwise, just because I was doing this challenge. So it definitely helped me strike up conversations and connect more fully to the areas around me. There are a lot of foods that don't even end up in our supermarkets just because they don't have a long shelf life. So there's certain fruits that you would have to kind of pick and really eat within a day or two that are never going to make it to supermarket shelves, and that wouldn't stay fresh long enough or be able to be preserved long enough to make it across an ocean or even across a country. So one of the big benefits of eating your local fruit and veg is just getting to try these species that you will never find in supermarkets, just because of that shelf life stability. Or also many foods that just don't look a certain way, and these supermarket chains, it's a group of people in a room voting on what goes on the shelves. And so if they're not familiar with these plants or haven't come across them in their lives, they're not going to make it into your supermarket. So always try and look at your local markets, your farmers markets. When you're traveling, look to go to the local markets and also support the people who are actually growing the food and connected to the food and who you are buying directly from, because you're going to benefit their lives and your own body from doing that. There's also a lot of plants that I tried that were completely specific to a certain bioregion. So they were these certain cousin plants to corn or other things that I never saw anywhere else again, particularly parts of northern Chiapas. There were some super tasty, interesting things that had so much potential to be grown on a bigger scale and were so tasty and interesting, but they only grow in that little certain region, and they haven't been shared outside of that region either. So that was super exciting. And for me, I also realized that eating local plants is one of the most sensual ways that we can connect to the area that we're in, because you're touching it, you're feeling it, you're smelling it, you're eating it, And it's like, it's connecting you to the people that grew it, it's connecting you to the land where it grew, and it's really one of the best ways if you're traveling, and particularly if you're kind of like slow traveling and taking time in different places, getting that nutrients or even the leftover dirt that is on those fruit and veggies is going to really help you be a bit more connected and grounded to the place where you're traveling or where you just are. It wasn't easy to reach the 200. It was easy to get to about the first 130. That only took me about 3 months. But then after that, I really had to make a conscious effort of finding more spices, plants, fruit, veg, herbs, mushrooms that I hadn't had before. And to be honest, if I had only been in one place the whole time, like just Mexico or just Germany or just Guatemala, I don't know if I would have made it to the 200, because this was definitely a mixture of 2 continents and Asian supermarkets. That was how I was able to reach that 200. And in the end, I did make it to 220 in 1 year. So yeah, this is definitely the kind of thing where you wouldn't really be able to reach the 200 if you were just in one bioregion and if you were just living off of the plants and fruit and veg that was being provided by your local farmers. If you wanted to reach 200 and stay in one place for that whole year, you would probably have to put in a lot of time and energy into growing those 200 different species. And that's probably, not really viable and sustainable in most cases, unless you were sharing land with a large group of people. I feel like particularly in Germany, it would be extra hard to reach those 200. Like, you would really have to go into the forest, in the fields, and be eating a lot or ingesting a lot of different herbs and wild weeds to be able to reach the 200, because our supermarkets are so curated and so minimal. Another thing that I loved about doing this was that it actually really connected me a bit more to the seasons. So I had to pay attention, particularly while I was in Germany, to make it to the farmers markets every month or every week, so that I could get some of those plants that aren't there all around. So for example, rhubarb or strawberries or asparagus, those are very, they have their certain time window. If you're harvesting them in season and not from a different part of the world, sometimes those are just a window of 3 to 6 weeks where that plant is available. So it really made me pay attention to what was in season in my region. And just in general, it was a good way of becoming a little bit more flexible and creative with how I ate, and always looking to expand and find new plants that I didn't know, and figure out how to use them and how to cook with them, and what they were called in different languages, especially when I was in Mexico or Guatemala. And so I encourage anyone to try it out, just for all those reasons. And to sum up why do it: first of all, to preserve seed sovereignty, to show with your consumer vote that you want diverse plants. With your consumer vote, you're telling the farmers that you appreciate that product that they're growing and that you want more of it. And that really helps people take care of the seeds of their regions and preserve that history, that common human history that we have, so that not all of the seed power goes to big corporations. Definitely another reason is it's just healthy to be eating that amount of different plants and getting a really diverse mixed bag of herbs and spices and fruits and all the substances that are within each and every one of those plants. Super fun. Again, it had definitely helped with like flexibility and creativity and trying out new things. It definitely helped me connect to the locals and the people who were living around me, asking questions about what the plants were, how I could prepare them, how they grow, where can I find them, just inspiring me to do more research in that way. And yeah, definitely made me like step beyond some of my fears of, asking those questions, particularly in like, small farmers markets where they're always gonna, they're happy to answer the question, but they're gonna laugh at you a little bit as well, just for, even asking the question. Like, it's so obvious, it's this, but it's quite funny. Just in general, an appreciation of the seasons and of the planet and of the opportunities to experience different things that we have here, and just experience all those different taste sensations and textures and flavors and energies. And every plant, as particularly over the last year or years, plants are really working with us, and the love and the care that the people who grow plants for our food, the love and the care that they put into those plants, we can taste that and really receive it energetically. Like, this was a big lesson that I got from trying so many different kinds of cacao, is just like the taste difference solely based on the human influence and love that was put into that whole process. So yeah, this can just really foster an appreciation of the seasons, an appreciation of our varied human experience, and an appreciation of all the amazing plant life that is out there for us to discover and connect with and taste and experience. And so thank you for watching if you made it this far. If you want some help with your nutrition and food planning, I offer personalized channeled food guides for people. So that consists of me like connecting to the energetics of your body and just channeling like which foods and fruits and veg and nuts is good for your body at this moment. And then I prepare a PDF with illustrations of all of the foods that are good for you at the moment, and lists of like which ones you could probably better avoid for a little while, and any other guidance or information that I get for you. And that takes me a couple hours, but I love doing it. And so if you're interested in one of those, then let me know. And I also offer quantum healing hypnosis sessions, what most people are more familiar with as past life regressions. I love doing those. They take about 4 to 5 hours, and if you're interested in doing that, then let me know, and I will put my website address in the description box. So thank you for watching, and see you soon.